Thanks, Dr. Banks. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this open house. My name is Debbie Jackson, and I serve as the department chair in teacher education. Before being a department chair, I taught high school science before I came to CSU. And I've taught in the adolescent young adult math and science teacher preparation programs primarily. So I will not be able to help you with any of the content for early childhood special ed or TESOL, but I do serve as the department chair for the department. So if you have any issues moving forward, any questions, if you shoot them to me, if I don't have the answer, I can find out for you. So welcome. Thank you for sharing time with us this afternoon.
Thank you, Debbie. Elena?
Yep.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful to see you all. I think I emailed with some of you, so it's really nice to put a face to the name. So I'm Elena Andre. I'm an assistant professor of TESOL and the coordinator of the TESOL program. Together with faculty from CSU and CMSD stakeholders, I helped develop the program, and now I'm helping out with rolling it out and coordinating it. So I'm looking forward to working and learning from all of you. Welcome.
Thank you, Elena. And so that you all know, as the program coordinator, Elena will be able to answer questions directly about the program and assist in any way with enrollment or registration, things that just kind of help you get through the program on the CSU side. Jennifer Dowie.
Hi, everyone. So I am an intervention specialist at Scranton Elementary. So I'm in the schools just like you, but I also teach a few special ed courses at Cleveland State as well. So I may be one of your instructors. I'm also a researcher. You could come to me for anything, really, anything special ed related. I teach the little ones. I've taught little up to high school. So you can come to me if you just are taking a class and it's something challenging and you have a question. I'm open to helping with whatever you might need. So
thank you, Jennifer. Jennifer will serve as our program evaluator. It's always important to roll out innovation, but also to have a layer of evaluation there to see if we're arriving at the impact that we hope to have. And then being able to share that information out with the students enrolled in the program and related stakeholders. So we wanted to be mindful of the program evaluation piece, which is very critical in advancing any initiative, bringing it to scale and sustaining it over time. All right, Ms. Keisha.
Hello, everyone. My name is Keisha Wilkins. I am an academic advisor in the College of Education. I am specifically serving as advisor for our DREAM program, so I can assist with class registration, petition assistance, as well as graduation. So I can advise you all through from the beginning to the end with any questions you may have. Welcome to you all, and I'm glad to see so many familiar faces. Welcome to CSU.
Thank you, Ms. Keisha. I appreciate it. Stacy.
Let me unmute. Hi, everybody. I'm Stacy Zidek, and I currently teach, this is my 10th year at Thomas Jefferson International Newcomers Academy. And I was lucky enough to be able to work on this grant with you all, and I'm really excited about it. And like Jennifer said, you know, I've taught from the young ones, early intervention, and I currently teach high school students that are brand new to the country and speak one language that is their first language. So it's a very, very exciting thing that we're doing here today. And as tired as I am, by the end of the day, it's very energizing and rewarding. So welcome. Very exciting.
Thank you, Stacy. So we wanted to start by introducing you to everyone who is committed to providing support so that you can see the comprehensive nature of our collective expertise and also our commitment to serve. We've shared a lot of details about the program, so I I want to take a moment to see if you all have questions before we move into the discussion about financial aid and how that might be helpful. All right, because I certainly don't want to be just talking to folks. I want to make sure we have some time. Okay, I think next is Ryan, who will talk to us about financial aid options, the Teach Grant available for graduate students at CSU.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, my name is Ryan. I am a senior financial aid specialist at Cleveland State. And I just want to thank all of our teaching specialists and everybody who's going to be continuing in this field, because that's something we always need a lot of, and it's very exciting. And we need more, students, of course. So thank you guys very much for choosing these careers. For graduate students, you have a few different options for financial aid through the federal government, and that's what I'm going to mostly talk about today. Any other forms of financial aid would be like third party or something like that, or there are some, many different avenues, maybe depending on the field you're specifically getting into, of course. But for financial aid through the federal government, these are going to be things that you would be eligible for through your FAFSA, which is something that if you completed in the past to use for an undergrad, or if you're familiar with these types of loans, you're going to complete that application. It's the free application for federal student aid. Get used to that one. That's one you're going to do every year if you haven't already had some experience with that. And through the FAFSA for graduate students, there is a large sum of unsubsidized loans that are available to graduate students. It is up to about $20,500 a year. And you can divide that up between, fall, spring, and summer. That's going to be for students that are at least attending, half time. So that is something that you have available to you if by completing the FAFSA. And then, of course, what you are probably more interested in is things like grants and things that you don't have to pay back. And that's going to be the Teach Grant that I'm here to talk about today. Has a lot of things going on with, I guess, Teach Grant, like in the news recently, have been some issues that borrowers are having with keeping their Teach Grants as loans. So I just want to start out by explaining a little bit about what exactly this is, what the problems some folks have with it, and how to avoid those, and to make sure that you're handling this process properly, because there are some things that they're changing now that are going to make this easier and less difficult for students. So the Teach Grant is a grant available to students. I believe it's up to about $4,000 a year, but that can vary a little bit around there. So it's a grant that you don't have to pay back because it's a grant. And also, you have to kind of keep up with it. And you're going to obtain this grant by agreeing to 4 years of qualifying teaching work that you're going to do in a high need field, in education, in a high needs area. And so you have to fulfill that obligation, which is 4 years of that work, within the first 8 years after completing the program and finishing up. So you can do all this on studentaid.gov, which is going to be, there's going to be two main resources you can use to look into this grant. The first one is studentaid.gov, which is the first thing that's going to come up if you go into Google or any other big search engine and use it to search for the Teach Grant. It is where you're going to complete your FAFSA, because you have to have that done in order to be eligible, have to have a FAFSA completed. You have to be a citizen or eligible non-citizen. So if you're able to receive like financial aid through the FAFSA, then that would be something that you would be eligible for this. I already said about the enroll at least half time. You have to maintain a standard academic progress, which means you have to have a good standing at the school. If anybody's experienced anything like that, if you do have like a bad semester or something like that, sometimes you have to get your grades back up to make sure you're maintaining a standard of that academic process. You have to be meeting that. And you're probably going to be meeting that because you, in order to qualify for this at Cleveland State, you have to be meeting a 3.25 GPA in order to qualify for the Teach Grant. Okay, you complete the application for the Teach Grant on studentaid.gov. Am I able to share my screen at all? Okay, if you could hand me a.
Let's try to share the screen and also possibly put those links in the chat so folks will have ready access to it. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so you can kind of see here, if you go to studentaid.gov, I think I found this, it's at the top, there's a complete aid process. You can see down here, it's got all your items here, but the Teach Grant and the way it's set up for the application of it is very similar to your FAFSA. You use the same login information. And on this site, it involves those same kind of steps where you have to first complete the application, and then you have to complete a counseling session, which is basically a quiz that you take, that it runs you through to make sure that you understand exactly how to handle this, exactly what all the qualifications are and stipulations and things. And then after that, you would complete what's called an agreement to service, an ATS. And that's basically saying that you agree to that 4 years of working in a high needs area within that first years after you finish up. And then when you're all completed and you've agreed to everything and you've been accepted, then you would complete what is called exit counseling, which if you're familiar with the FAFSA, it's the same process where you have to kind of take a quiz when you start to make sure you understand it. And then there's another quiz at the end to make sure you understand about repayment and how that process works as well. So all that is here on studentaid.gov. You can you go through and log in here and it'll take you through the steps there. If you don't have a login for the FAFSA, all that is also done here. It'll take you through the steps. You have to make a login and a password for everything nowadays. So that's something that you're going to do there. So the way that the process goes is once you've been accepted, you've done your counseling, which gets more into the details of how that repayment works. What you have to keep in mind is that every year for the Teach Grant, you're responsible for maintaining those records and making sure the right folks are notified about your about the work that you're putting in towards those 4 years in those high need jobs that you're going to have. And it was trickier before, and they're fixing this now. And some of the things you may have heard bad about it was that if you don't complete those 4 years of service within that 8 years, and you don't follow that agreement that you set up that's mentioned down here, that agreement to service, then your loan or your grants will turn into loans, which means that you have to repay them with that interest, just like those other student loans. That unsubsidized I talked about that you have available to you as a grad student through the FAFSA. And so you really have to keep up on that. Now, it was more complicated until recently. Just with the way that it was set up was you had to worry about a lot of dates during the year. And that's something that they're getting rid of now. And it seems like moving forward, what they're going to do is every October, you're going to be responsible for making sure that your reporting is all done correctly. And once again, the details of that are going to be in this exit counseling. That is what you're going to do when you finish up, agreeing to the service and everything. So every year, you're going to have to re-update your application and redo this, just like the FAFSA. Every year, you have to keep up with it. Every October, the FAFSA for next year comes out, and every October, your reporting is done for your service and everything that you've been completing. If you're following these steps, applying every year, making sure that once you're graduated and you're all completed and you're working in that field with that degree that you've earned and those certifications, that you're actually keeping up with that every year and you're reporting to the federal government, because if there's a lapse in that, then that can create issues with making sure that your grants are staying grants and you don't want to have to repay those. So like I said, that's up to $4,000 a year. That is, you can divide that up how you'd like. I believe typically with Teach, I may have to make sure about this, but I think it might be only fall, spring, or like it might have to be grouped up. I'm not sure how you could spread that out over the summer because you have to maintain part-time, and there's some details of your program that may require you to have so many hours and things, so you don't really have to worry about that. And on our website, also another resource that you have, so you have studentaid.gov to get some more details there. Also, on our website, you can search for a lot of the Teach Grant information as it applies to us here. On our, just some of the answers that it gives you on studentaid.gov just tell you to refer to the university that you're going to, or to the financial aid folks there to help you out, because some of those things are just more specific to your college, like that GPA I talked about here that we have you maintain here. But a lot of this information you can find here with some dates and some things and some helpful links for you too, so you could get some more information, where you can do your annual agreements and applications and things, and the servicing of even making sure that if you do have them like turned into loans, how you would pay those back, and all that information has some nice links here just on our website as well. You can also, of course, give us a call. Our Campus 411 team, I believe, handles taking in a lot of the applications for Teach. So they may have some helpful hints if you have like some issues while you're filling out the application and you're not sure about like an error or something like that might be technical. You can always give our folks in Campus 411 a call, and I'll put this phone number. I'll type this into the chat when I'm finished here and give you some of these links so you guys could save these. Just as some additional details about the program. Just to make sure that you're aware of it. We're talking mostly, of course, about this program that you guys are interested in here. There are some other ways you can kind of sneak in the Teach Grant and like post-bac programs and some things like that. Should you even further down the line continue your education or something, but it gets a little bit trickier. And every program in every college has some specific details on it. So if you do have some questions about a post-bac or a secondary bachelor degree at any point in time, make sure that you speak specifically to the college about it. Just some ideas about places that you can work. It just kind of gives you the basic information of a high need area that they want you to work in, which was basically referring to a financial need in that area. You can find those links on studentaid.gov for all this information about the Teach Grant and things, about the agreements and about places where you can work. There's like search engines and places. This is something that changes based on the area that you're maybe moving to, or if you're looking to stay here, of course. That's going to change all the time. So make sure that you just, when you are looking for employment after, make sure that you're checking those lists and to make sure that you are working in a high need area and things like that. The most important thing about the Teach Grant that you really want to stay on top of is those October deadlines. Every fall, you've got classes starting again. Every fall, you have to make sure that documentation is in order. That is mostly the problem that you will hear about in the news or anywhere about the Teach Grant. And they are doing some things to correct that now. If you fall off with staying on top of that and that turns into loans, it can be difficult and long process to get that reverse fixed. So as long as you're staying up to date every year, just like when you're doing your FAFSA every year, just like when you're doing your application every year in October, then you should stay on top of that. And that's grant money. That's $4,000 a year towards your education for something that you're planning on doing anyways, working in that field. I don't know a lot of people that are looking to get into a field that they're not looking to work in. So, take advantage of that, but you have to stay on top of it because it'll turn into those loans. Does anybody have any questions right off the bat that they can think of right now, or do you hold those questions until the end?
We're taking questions whenever they want to ask the questions. We want this to be more interactive than not. We don't really want to talk at folks for an entire hour. So certainly if anyone has questions, please ask, put in the chat. And we'll try to field those for you. Yes, Ms. Bird.
When does the first cohort start?
For applying, you mean for the program?
Yes, for the program. Yes. I'm sorry, I didn't mean, were you asking general questions or just financial aid questions now?
General questions. Any question is fine.
Okay.
I'll let Elena answer that question because she's the program coordinator. Thank you for your question.
Yes, so the first cohort taking DREAM classes will be fall 2021. However, for those of you who are interested to start taking some of the core classes that are classes common to other master's program, you could definitely start taking classes in the spring and the summer. But the cohort and the DREAM core classes that are specifically to DREAM only will be starting fall 2021. So next in the fall.
We do have some students that have expressed interest in beginning in the spring, Elena. So can you show the courses that students could actually enroll in spring and summer if they'd like to go ahead and get started?
Sure, I'll be happy to do that. And I'm sharing my screen here. So first here is with all the classes. What I have here on the second screen, I have, and I'm looking this way because I have the second screen here. So these are classes that any of you can take this spring, and I color coded it. So for example, this class EDL 501 reading instruction and assessment is also offered in the summer. So all of these that you can see in this column here and here, these are all classes that you can take before the actual cohort start, so you can lighten your load a little bit. And then you start with the fall classes, and these are all core DREAM classes and spring classes. And again, I put this color coded. So for example, some of you might be interested in taking a phonics class in the spring. So then when fall comes, you don't have to take that class. Or you want to take the phonics class in the summer and take the child development in the spring. So you have only the core DREAM classes in the fall. So these are just some additional options for you. And these core classes are offered on a regular basis, spring and summer, more or less like this. So you definitely can start in the spring with some core classes.
I have a question. For me, I have a bachelor degree from my, I came from El Salvador, State, right? So I am interested to join this program, but when I went to the, what was that? So I tried to, I had to take 3 classes. 9 semester hours reading, and I think 3 semester hours grading for my teaching license. So with this program, if I take the program DREAM program, so I have to take the whole classes that DREAM is offering, or is a different course that I have to join to get just my license to teach?
That's a very good question. So some of the core classes that you can start in the spring and summer, those are classes that are common to other programs. And if you took similar classes, let's say about reading or child development, that are at the graduate level, you could definitely transfer those. We can look at what classes you took and you can transfer those. However, the DREAM classes, remember DREAM is a master's program that leads to 3 credentials: early childhood, which now in the state we call primary, intervention specialist, and TESOL. The classes are in such a way developed that we combine all three areas. So classes that cannot be replaced with are the other dream, the specific classes, but any other, all the other classes that are also common to other programs, such as some of the reading classes or the applied linguistic class. If you have similar classes at the graduate level, we could definitely look at your transcript and you can transfer those in.
We have a question about the program of study. Ms. Keisha is correct that we have not yet issued or developed an official program of study, but Elena did show, if you could show it again, how the program is laid out. Yes. So the program of study, when it's officially developed, will look something like this, so that you just have a sense of the sequencing of the program. And in any way that we can, certainly in the core courses, there's an option to look at prior courses taken to see if those things can transfer in and be counted as part of your program. And you can see where where Elena was talking about the DRE courses, they have the DRE prefix. It's those courses that are integrated, interdisciplinary, across the traditionally three separate licensure areas. This curriculum has been designed in such a way that that content is integrated so that professionals can graduate meeting all of the requisite requirements, receiving the credential in those three areas. I'm trying to look to see. Thank you, Elena, to see if we have any more questions in the chat. If you have additional questions and you want to ask, please just ask. Program study, you can use the search link for employment. How long is the program, Elena?
So the program will take 2 years with 2 falls and 2 springs and some summer classes. So it would be a total of 6 semesters. In each semester, you have around 12 to 15 credits or 3 to 5 classes. And during the summer, 8 to 9 credits or 3 classes. But again, if you decide, for those of you who are interested to start in the spring or summer, then the load during the fall and spring semester will be less.
We also had a question prior to this call about who qualifies, professionals with a bachelor's degree. If you're interested, we'll certainly come and reach out, contact Keisha or Elena. They'll review your transcripts to see what works and let you know what can be waived or transferred in. And we'll get you the proper advising and support so that you can make the best decision that you can with the experience that you have. We've also worked in conjunction with Jose and Stacy and Jen to make sure that in ways that we can leverage your professional experience, we will. And so Jose and Stacy, Jennifer have offered their expertise to serve as instructors, supervisors. So if you're currently working as a paraprofessional, an aide, a teacher in your current classroom, we certainly want to meet you where you're at. And those experiences are meaningful, and we want to certainly place the proper value on that in this experience. And so when you move into the DREAM courses and there are clinical hours required, we will do what we can to ensure that flexibility so you stay gainfully employed while fulfilling the requirements of the program. Courses will be offered web-based. When we move past this pandemic and our new normal, they could possibly be offered on site. We will, any way that we can be of support to make sure that more professionals are credentialed to better meet the needs of the students in the district, we are all committed to that end. Did you want to add something, Stacy, about how we will work together in leveraging their experience?
Yes, that's one of the things is that all of you have been working in the district, working with students, you know, with the English language learners population. And so I know that kind of experience is not only going to be looked at as far as, you know, what credit you get for that, but also that experience is only going to support what you're doing in this program. And I know that when I went through and I did my degree in early intervention and then special ed, and this is just the quickest, most effective way to get 2 degrees and an endorsement and start working right away and without leaving your job. And that's huge. So, you know, we are here to, I think we're very flexible and want to see everybody succeed in this because our students need you. They need you. So.
So I have a quick question. So I have a bachelor's degree, but I do not have a teaching license. So I could do this program and get my teaching license. So that would not be a problem that I don't currently have one.
Correct. This is an initial license program at the graduate level.
Okay. And then my second question is, this is just for K-UP, it's not pre-K?
The new primary licensure in the state of Ohio, April, it's pre-K5, correct, Dr. Banks? Yes, yes. So it will include pre-K. And yes, you'll have 2 licensure and a TESOL endorsement. So it can be the TESOL teacher, the intervention teacher, the classroom teacher, or all 3, or any combination.
Okay, because I've been doing pre-K since 1998 and I do not want to move from there.
I hear you. Great questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have another question, but talking about my, you know, having some, with my bachelor degree, if I take like a one, the program include for the 3 license, so I cannot take one, like one license first and then keep going doing the other 2, or it's just the 2 years for the program?
I can take that question. Is that okay? Okay. So the program is in such a way that at the end, you will be eligible to apply and get all 3 licensures. If you are interested in only one licensure, then this is not necessarily the place. DREAM gives you the opportunity to get 3 credentials. I'll call them credentials because endorsement, TESOL, theoretically, it's an endorsement. That's how we call it in Ohio. But at the end of the program, the 2 years and using your classroom experience, you will be eligible for the state of Ohio to apply and get 3 licensures.
We do, Mr. Fuentes, though, offer intervention specialists as a separate license, right? We have a program, mild, moderate, mild intensive program that you can certainly enroll in and pursue that license if you would like separately. We also have an early childhood program at the graduate level. So if you wanted to pursue early childhood as a separate individual license, you could certainly do that at CSU as well. This program is just qualitatively different because we are hoping to credential professionals in 3 different areas and have them earn a master's degree. It is an innovative, a new program, and it's absolutely aligned with the district needs. And the district expressed a real interest in wanting something like that. So it is rigorous, I think it'll meet the needs of the district. I think it's absolutely attractive and will make any professional more marketable upon completion. And certainly, and possibly most importantly, will better support students in the classrooms that you currently work in. So we do have options if you want to pursue an individual license at CSU in our teacher education program. You can certainly touch base with Debbie Jackson to learn more, but this program is absolutely designed. It's an integrated program that results in earning 3 credentials at the end, at completion.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question, if you don't mind. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I am Rhonda Roman. I have a bachelor degree from back home, early childhood. And as you mentioned that if I have the transcript, can I email you, Miss Elena, and or see you or something to see what are the classes I shouldn't take or?
Sure, we could definitely look at your transcript. Yes, you can email me a copy of it.
Okay, thank you.
There was also a question in the chat about where the classes will be offered. So as Dr. Banks mentioned at the beginning, due to the pandemic, classes will be initially offered online. We have been discussing, Stacy was part of that discussion too, that classes will be offered at a place and time that will work for the cohort. So the classes could be offered at one of the schools, for example, at Thomas Jefferson, and depending on the schedule and the needs of the cohort, the classes could be offered after school or weekend. So that is something that we definitely can be of support and support the work that you do in school so you can be successful during the program.
Okay, can I ask a question? So I have a master's already and I have an early childhood degree. And so really I would be interested in the dreams portion. So really this wouldn't be for me, if you will.
So you are saying you already have a master's and an early childhood licensure?
Yeah, I have a master's and I have an early childhood licensure, yes.
So go ahead, sorry.
And I was just thinking about the dreams portion of the program. You know, that was what my, thought was. So I don't know, it doesn't sound like it's for me, if you will.
So as we mentioned earlier, you cannot really separate and say, I will do just the early childhood portion of the program or the TESOL portion of the program if that is what you're interested in, or if you already have those credentials. So the DRE courses, the DREAM courses, they integrate all the content. So at the end, if you are going through the program, you will end up being eligible and get for your early childhood licensure. So if you are only, like Dr. Banks mentioned earlier, if you are only interested in an additional credential, there are other options that we offer at CSU at the graduate level.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you'd like information about the TESOL program, the individual TESOL program or individual special ed or individual early childhood, let me know and I'll connect you with the right folks to get you in touch with those people. I did just want to add that the Teach grants could be eligible for all of the programs individually or as DREAM. So.
I have a question too.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So by the way, my name
Now
is
10 minutes before you must exit the building.
Oh, okay. Now I can go ahead. Well, my name is Mael. I'm actually a student at CSU, and I was applying into this is my first semester. I've just finished my first semester, trying to apply for the urban secondary program, which is a master. I think it's a geo program. You get your master and a license. But since my focus was social studies and my undergrad was not in history, I was required to go back and take some history classes on the undergrad level. When I saw this program, I was really interested, and that's why I wanted to know. I am currently I didn't. My application is not for grad. It is for post-bac. Do I have to go back and apply for this? For the what's this? It says curriculum and instruction program, or can my post-bac be transferred to this for the program, for the DREAM program?
I can answer that question. You would need to reapply as a graduate student for the curriculum and instruction degree program. The post-bac program cannot be applied to this program. Post-bac is at an undergraduate level. So you would need to reapply to the curriculum and instruction master's program.
And in that case, will that put me behind to apply for if I need to apply for some of these classes in the spring?
No, it will not. You still have until the middle of January to add courses to your schedule.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
We had, excuse me, we had another question in the chat. Is CMSD paying anything towards these degrees or endorsements? I will honestly say that we are in conversations with CMSD to find ways to incentivize these efforts. And those conversations are ongoing. You all work in the district, you know the impact of COVID, you know the budget constraints. We are also experiencing those type of impacts from COVID and budget constraints as well. But the conversations are ongoing. I've talked to Jacqueline Brown, I've talked to the HR representative, her name is escaping me right now. Lori Ward. And they're both extremely supportive and want to be of help when they can be of help. So those conversations are ongoing, and I'm certainly one of those professionals who believes in incentivizing professionals to advance their careers, which will result in better outcomes for students and the professionals as well. So the answer right now is that it's pending. And that's a very honest answer, but the conversations are ongoing, and we are also looking into foundational support, different ways that we can fund this program and see how we can support students as they move through the program.
Dr. Banks, I would just add too that I know what the last time we all got together and met, a lot was hinging on the levy passing, and it did pass. So, you know, hopefully this will move a little forward now.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely. So Jacqueline agreed to revisit those conversations, and certainly Lori Ward is always willing to have a conversation. So we'll stay on top of it and keep folks posted. We'll go after it as much as we can, with the hope of securing some type of funding to provide incentives during the program. Yes, April, please.
I know at our delegates meeting for the paras, they were talking about the Tier 5 program. And so if you're in your 4th year as a para, you will get 15 weeks paid to go towards if you're in your student teaching or something for school. And so they're trying to make sure that the paras know about that option if you're in that program, because a lot of people aren't aware of that. After your 4th year, you're eligible for that if you are going to school. So take advantage of that, because we did have 2 paras graduate out of that this year. So yay them.
All right, we are at 3:53. We're still taking questions as folks still have them in the chat, or you can ask in person, or through the regular communication. But I think Keisha, did you want to say something else about advising? I think we had you on the agenda as addressing the group.
I actually said it in the beginning.
Okay. Okay.
Know my role. As far as registration, if anyone is interested in registering for classes in the spring, if you want to get a head start, you can always contact me and we can get you started with registering for classes.
Fantastic.
Another question.
Please.
And this is for Ms. Keisha. So I'm actually looking on here for this, what you had, a curriculum, an education application, and it's not on here. It's only giving me the program of education research and urban secondary education.
But the one you're looking for is curriculum and instruction general. The DREAM program is not on that application just yet. So you want to apply for the curriculum and instruction general program so that you can transition into the DREAM program once it becomes available.
If I hope I'm not asking for too much on here, because I'm looking on here and I didn't see it. Is there a possibility that the link can be, kind of drop the link in the
I
chat?
can look up a link and email it to you after the meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Fantastic. And Ms. Keisha, I would ask that you copy me on that email because it's something that we could possibly send to the entire group in the event that they need it, right? So we'll have some follow-up correspondence via email. So thank you to those who included their email in the chat. If you haven't included your email in the chat, please do so. We'll send you the video link. We'll send any additional information from Ryan that he covered this evening, and any type of registration information that Ms. Keisha shared. We'll send that along as well, in hopes that you choose to join us as part of this program. You can begin in the spring, you can begin in the summer, you can begin in the fall when the official cohort is to start. Doesn't matter when you begin, all the professionals that you met tonight are here to help you at any time. So we will be sure to include our contact information in the email that we send out to the folks who participated in tonight's open house. With that, I thank you all so much for sharing your time and for your interest. I'm so excited about our prospects and learning together. I'm wishing you all a very happy holiday season. Stay safe, stay healthy, and have a happy new year. The team will stay on the call in the event that folks have more questions. Otherwise, thank you again and have a good evening.
That went well. April, if you need help, just reach out to me, okay?
I will. Thank
Sounds
you.
like you're way ahead of it anyways.
Yeah, I'm very excited. I've been waiting for something like this. I was like,
I'm so excited for you. This is an exciting opportunity. It really is.
yeah, because when I worked at some other stuff, it was like, man, I'll be taking a bunch of repetitive classes.
No, this is really
just to get that license. So this would eliminate that and then give me some other stuff that I need.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
I say we have it at TJ because I don't drive. And that would be great.
Hi, have been had. Yes.
Oh, hi.
I have a question.
Here too.
It's again about
you too.
Yeah, hi, Miss Eric. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you? It's so
Good,
weird to
thank
see
you.
everybody. I miss you guys. But if you need help, just text me or email me, and we can sit down and Zoom and look at stuff. Okay. But it's
okay. I will reach to you, but before I leave, I would like to ask you, Mr. Bissett, talking about financial aid.
Did he leave?
Yes, the grant. So according to what I heard is that what you explained is that the program will with the grant will be like $4,000 a year, and this is what it provides. And then it's going to be each semester is 9 to 12 credits. Is that correct?
For the Teach grant federally, you're required to maintain at least part-time, which would be like half, 6 credit hours. But I think for your guys' program that you're talking about here, it would require more than that. Anyways, Jenna, depending on how long they wanted to do it, but you have to maintain at least 6 to stay eligible. And then it would be, I think that it's only able to be divided up between fall and spring. I do think that there is a stipulation that you can't use it for the summer. And I could make sure that hasn't changed, but I do believe that is, so it would be like 2,000 for the fall and 2,000 for the spring.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you then.
Yeah.
Thank you for. Mhm.
I have a question for Miss April. Whatever you said about the teacher aide, if they stay 4 years in Cleveland, I didn't know.
Yes. So they were saying for us paras, if you've been a para for 4 years, then you can call Cheryl Ann at the union office and they'll start a file on you. And then when you go to leave for like your student teaching or get your educational stuff, then they can give you up to 15 weeks of paid leave to get your student teaching or educational stuff done. It has to be approved and you verify that what you're doing is done, but you have to go through different steps. So you need to call Cheryl Ann at the union office and start your file, send over the transcripts that you have so far, and they'll walk you through the process. I'm getting ready to call them after this meeting, but you would go through them, but you have to be a para for 4 years for that to work.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been with the district. This is my 6th year, I believe.
There you go. So that's you.
I just wanted to add to Natalia, I know if worse comes to worse and you took out student loans, you know, you stay you have to commit to 4 years through the Teach Grant. And then there is loan forgiveness for high need areas up to, I think it's still 17,500 if you're working in those high need areas. So could that run concurrently? Ryan, do you know? Could they do the 5 years and the 4 years concurrently?
Yeah, I'm not sure about, I know that for the Teach Grant and as far as its application and reporting goes, you know, they want to see that 4 years and it has to get documented. And I believe that it can't start, you know, like before you were finished in your program or anything. The loan forgiveness, I know that that's changing a lot too right now. So I'm not sure. There might be some better opportunities for that. I don't want to tell anybody to take out loans now because there might be some better opportunities.
The Teach Grant wasn't available when I went to school. And I did take out the student loans, and after 5 years, it was cut, you know, basically 17.5.
Yeah.
Is it
I did the
similar to
same
like
thing.
what they do for working in like
high need area?
High need
in
areas.
the public service area for so many years, where they'll forgive so much of your loans after you complete your 10 years of public service? And
Yeah, it's 5 years in the teacher loan forgiveness.
okay.
And you're working in a high needs area, yeah. So urban district, special ed, TESOL, English language learners.
Yeah, I see no reason why you wouldn't be able to capitalize on both of those if they're still available, because you are making that commitment for the Teach Grant and you are fulfilling those obligations. So anything outside of that on your loans on the side is going to be separate. And hopefully they open up some more opportunities for that. As a graduate student, loan wise, you only have the unsubsidized loans available to you, which are the ones that do build up interest while you're still in school. So that is one thing to keep in mind. If you are using loans as a graduate student, the longer you take, the more interest will build up there.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. You know,
yeah.
Something else maybe. I certainly would, you know, I would certainly want grants over.
Yeah,
of course.
So Miss Keisha, I wanted to bring to your attention that Miss Laurie had mentioned real interest in wanting to apply in the chat. So we could follow up with her and provide some assistance, maybe review her transcripts.
Okay, I'll copy her email address then.
Yeah, because she has a master's in education, so it may be courses that we can go ahead and count towards that.
Right.
Fulfilling the core and fulfilling the reading requirement and all of those things to get her in queue. Right.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you all.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Before
Talk to you, Mrs. Risteri.
I need to say.
Okay, can I also ask a question, please?
Sure.
This is Mr. Porrell, and this is more or less related again to the finance section. I already have some loans from the federal government that still I'm paying it. Okay, so should I qualify or will I qualify again for further loan? Because is there a optimum limit where we can not get further loan? So do you have any suggestions or things to advise for the people who already have the loans?
Yeah, were your loans, I mean, it actually doesn't matter. So if you have taken out loans for your undergraduate, and they were like through the FAFSA or something like that, and they were federal loans, then you have a lifetime limit of loans that you're able to take out. And as when you become a graduate student, that increases dramatically. Just for an instant, I believe it's like $57,500 worth of loans you have eligible to take out as an undergraduate. As a graduate, it goes up to like 128 or 138,000. So your pool for borrowing gets much bigger as a graduate because it's more expensive to go to graduate school. As long as your loans are in repayment and you're in good status on your loans, you can always borrow more as long as it's within your lifetime limit and within your yearly limit. Like if you used loans like to complete your bachelor degree this fall and you used some loans this year, that's going to count towards your yearly limit that you qualify for. And as a graduate student, you will qualify for $20,500 of unsubsidized loans a year. And you can use that for summer too. It's about 10,000 for, fall, 10,000 for spring, or however you want to divide that up. So as long as your loans are in good standing currently and you're making those payments on those, if you take out more loans, then you could actually go back into, you could, depending on how you have those loans set up, if they're all still federal loans, you could put those in deferment and finish your graduate degree and then go back into repayment again after you complete. While you're going to school, generally you're not required to make those payments. Now, if it is something where you're on a plan and you've consolidated them, it might be different.
Yeah, why I am raising this question is that REACH program provides just $4,000 a year. That will cover just 6 credits. That means 2 courses only, which is not enough to just continue your, study. So based on that, if we are not qualified for the grants or other federal loans, it will be really tough to meet the cost of education. So cost is the first thing that we need to consider irrespective of time and our efforts. So if we cannot meet the cost, then dreaming all this one and getting a license would be a distant thing. So that's why first and foremost, we need to be much more stable in the financial section than to the other aspect like the time and management. So that's why I'm raising this issue. Okay, sorry if I asked you a bad question.
No, those are good questions. That's, you have to make sure that you're all set up so that you can have because you're going to have all your coursework to deal with. This is just you're going to have a lot more to worry about with that grad degree and all that work. And you don't want to have to worry about that financial end once you're getting into that. So those are very important questions. One other avenue that you can kind of look down, and I'm not sure what all the options might be, but I always like to use like the College Now website or Scholarship America, and I'll put some links in the chat here. Some of those websites, there's all kinds of options out there sometimes for just specific what you want to get into and what you want to do. And there might be some options there.
We also have another question, I think. Loan forgiveness, does it apply to graduate level and undergraduate level? Loan forgiveness? Do you know, Ryan?
These are all a little bit, I don't want to give anybody bad information here.
Okay.
With the loan forgiveness, that's, we're, of course, everyone's, praying that they're going to do more and more kind of stuff like that. As far as the only one that I know about like a little bit more is like the public service one where you can complete 10 years of public service and get so much. And I know that folks have had trouble with that as well. And that it has to deal with like documentation and things. loan forgiveness, I know that some ones I've heard about are only for undergrad. Like you can't get them for the graduate degrees and some things like that. But as far as in education, you know, I think that I would have to do a little bit more research there, I guess, and determine what fields you can get that in, because generally loan forgiveness is going to be for that undergrad degree. Just like there's a lot more loan options and grants available for that undergrad degree than there are for the graduate. But in your guys' field, in this education area, there are some options there. Someone had mentioned earlier about you know, having so many years of that service to help with those loans as well. And can you compile that on top of the Teach grant and things like that? So I would look more specifically into the exact loan forgiveness program that you're talking about. And I mean, that's something that I would like to learn more about as well, because they are specific into those things, and reporting is so important on those. And I would have to, I don't want to give you bad information.
Okay, that's great. I mean, you can do the research, get it back to us. We'll just be sure to include that information in future correspondence to prospective students that are interested in DREAM. That would be great. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? I don't want to keep folks too long. Okay. All right, well, we're all here. You should have our contact information. If not, you'll be receiving a follow-up email that will include it. Please reach out with any question. No question is too small or large. We're here to support and serve, and we certainly hope that you choose to join us at CSU and this DREAM program. Thank you so much for your time, and happy holidays and New Year to you all. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and all that.
All that.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Dr. Banks, did you say Lori as Lori as the last name for that student, or Lori as the first name?
Stephanie Lowry.
Okay.
Lowey.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah. There's a couple of students, I'll try to find their emails and forward it to you, that expressed interest in enrolling in spring. I wanted to know classes and all of that, but it was that they were on the call this evening. So I'll either myself or Elena will forward those emails to you. Now, if I get any more, since we've had the open house, I'll just copy you on those emails so that we can start helping them get in the system.
Elena, can you send me that list that for spring and summer that you shared?
Sure, I can email it to you. Yeah.
Last question, ladies, before I go. So, Miss Keisha, this is for you.
Yes.
Do I, so since I'm a student, do I also need to send you my transcript, or since my undergrad is from CSU, and even my post-bac is also still at CSU, or you can look it up?
No, I can look it up. If it's from CSU, you don't need to send it, no.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. So Elena, Ms. Keisha will probably also need that curriculum map as well, just to acclimate herself.
Yes, I'm sending them right now.
Okay.
Your email, Keisha.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan and Jennifer, Keisha.
Yeah, thanks guys for having me.
Yeah, we'll probably be in touch again, Ryan. That was awesome. I think more students just in education in general need what you provided this evening.
Yeah, I like learning a little bit more about some of that stuff, because you know, that's one of those, I don't always get to travel down the specific roads and you know, all the time. And so all this information is also helping us out as well.
Yeah, the Teach grant will be very useful to a lot of students in our college. So we may be calling on you more.
Yeah, it got a lot of bad rap recently because of how difficult they made it for people.
Yeah.
They have to keep reporting stuff all year, and then if one thing goofed up and it wasn't even really their fault, it could have been so now it's going to go to this once a year thing, and yeah, that link is in the chat for them talking about it and stuff.
Okay, all
So
right.
I think it's gonna get better and better because they have to give some more incentives.
Yeah, yeah, fantastic. All right, well, you all have a good one. I will follow up with Elena, Renee, and Claire sometime tomorrow. Y'all have a good evening. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Ryan.
Good night. Bye.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.